Hey everyone, this is Razador's Pokemon Shenanigans, and welcome to the third episode of our Fire Red Baby series. It's been a hot minute since the last video, so here's a little refresher on the rules. Only Elekid in battle. We add an egg move to the mons running in this mini-series, goes hand in hand with the baby theme and all, and we have to clear out not just the main story, but the post-game as well. And Hidden Power, unlike an invasive species, is banned in the runs featured in this mini-series. With Magby and Smoochum, I just used the first one I got. However, this time I kept resetting until I got a female Elekid, and this seems like a minor detail, but trust me, it's going to be extremely important for a particular battle later on. For now, though, I'm pretty confident in Elekid's abilities. Speaking of the star of this run, let's dive into the base stat total. Elekid is just a little bit weaker than Magby overall, but Kanto is far more lenient on electric types than it does on fire types, especially when taking into account that the mons we have run so far have well below a 400 base stat total. But of the three we've run up to this point, Elekid is easily the fastest, and that'll help quite a bit since in just about every battle we should be attacking first. As far as Elekid's moveset, let's start with the level up moves. A lot of great stuff on here. Thunder Punch at 9 is going to be fantastic, especially since we get same type from it, for the early segments of the game and perhaps even in the middle. Light Screen's always a welcome addition, and the fact we learn Thunderbolt naturally is absolutely phenomenal. Since we're running these baby mons against each other for fastest time and lowest level, that means that we won't have to waste literal minutes converting Poké Dollars to casino coins to buy TM24. And since we can easily get the Rain Dance TM18 East of Fuchsia, we can always opt for Rain Dance Thunder strats if we want to go for pure power. Now, as you saw in the intro rival battle, I chose Ice Punch for Elekid's egg move, and here's what we had to choose from. I was actually real tempted to go with Fire Punch, but Ice Punch not only offers us better coverage, but it'll be awesome against the likes of Lance. One advantage Elekid has over Magby and Smoochum is that it's not weak to any of our rival starters, and with the moveset we're going for, we're actually super effective against all three. Now, you might think that because we took Ice Punch that we're now super effective against the Bulbasaur line, and while that's true, we do get the same type attack bonus from stronger moves, Thunderbolt and Thunder, against Charizard and Blastoise. That and, well, Elekid can learn Psychic via TM. Don't believe me? Here's the TM moveset. I gotta say, I'm liking what I'm seeing on this list too, but what we're interested in the most, of course, is Psychic. It's a real strong move, has a slim chance to drop special defense by one stage, and it gives us a real advantage against fighting types, poison types like Koga, and it's the strongest move we'll have against our rival starter. That said, there is a lot to consider when it comes to our moveset. If we do go for Rain Dance and Thunder, that's 2 move slots immediately taken up, so we will have to choose wisely. What we won't have to choose wisely for, however, is the Brock fight. Our egg move comes in real clutch here, thanks to both Onix and Geodude being part ground type. Rock is not weak to ice, but ground is. So this fight is hardly even worth talking about, and that's par the course for a Brock battle. And I'm happy to say, things are about to get even better. As a pure electric type with the same type attack bonus Thunder Punch at our disposal, Misty shouldn't be too bad, although Starmie might still be faster. And the Cerulean rival, we've got Thunder Punch and Ice Punch to provide ideal coverage for that battle. Now, what we're going to do as we lead off against Misty is set up Light Screen. Star use damage with Water Pulse is minimal, thankfully no confusion. Once we do that, and Starmie comes out, it opts for Swift. Thanks to that and no unlucky crit on our behalf, we do defeat Misty on the first try, where we might not have otherwise. While we do have the type advantage, Water Pulse hits hard with same type and has a small chance to cause confusion. And the Cerulean rival? Well, let's hold off and see how we do against Pidgeotto. If we can one-shot it, there's no fear of Sand Attack, and that's massive for a solo run. And hey, turns out he is a one-shot. Beautiful. As Rattata comes out, we'll set up Light Screen in preparation for Bulbasaur. Good call too, as we only get hit by Tail Whip. And since we're faster, obviously Thunder Punch is going to be a one-shot, and Abra can't fight back, so it's whatever. As for Bulbasaur, Ice Punch is not quite a one-shot, but thankfully Sleep Powder does miss, 25% chance of that. So we have swept the Cerulean rival in a flawless victory. I'll always savor those moments. And because he's hardly any stronger on the SSN, and in the solo runs we're usually a few levels higher, that fight's pretty much the same. Only thing worth noting is that we don't one-shot Raticate, and when Kazabra comes out, that's when we set up Light Screen, because Gen 3 AI loves going for Disable right away in lieu of its 55 accuracy. And we do one-shot Ivysaur, albeit with a critical hit, so that's cool. Elekid's on a bit of a roll here, having first tried every major battle up to this point, and Lieutenant Surge? Well, let's find out how that goes. Well, freezing Voltorb is pretty nice. We'll go ahead and set up Light Screen, and of course he defrosts the next turn, hits us with Sonic Boom. Lieutenant Surge sends out Pikachu next. It was a one-shot with Ice Punch, however, static procs. Electric Pokemon can still be paralyzed by electric moves here in Gen 3. Now that we're paralyzed, Raichu certainly will have the speed advantage here, and Double Team, not great. We're gonna go for Raw Power with Ice Punch, hoping we do not miss, and Light Screen does wear off, but we don't miss a single time. I'll give Surge credit, that's the best fight he's given us in quite a while.
Giovani's up next, and not too much to say about this fight. We have Ice Punch for Rhyhorn and Onix, and Kangaskhan we got pretty lucky with Paralysis and it using Bite being special in Gen 3, but yeah, pretty easy fight, nothing to really talk about here. And despite the new additions to the Cerulean Rivals team, that being Growlithe and Gyarados, we are still going full speed ahead here. Yeah, the only damage we end up taking is Poison Powder, Poison damage from Ivysaur because it a one-shot, but that's whatever. So I'm thinking that we're gonna go straight to Silph Co after this and get a little bit of XP along the way so we can get Thunderbolt and see how we do. Well, we don't have much of a level lead on these guys anymore, so let's see how we do. Thunderbolt one-shotting Pidgeot and Gyarados though, saw that coming. Growlithe isn't, but he just hits us with Leer. We can finish him off with Swift. When Alakazam comes out, we'll set up Light Screen, he goes for Calm Mind. Thunderbolt's still the play here, but if we paralyze him, we'll get paralyzed off of Synchronize, so very risky. And against Venusaur, we go for Ice Punch and Yeta Freeze. Yo, not only that, but he stays frozen, and like, I'm not gonna pretend like that was anything but the luckiest fight we've had so far. That's awesome. Now, Giovani 2, I am a bit concerned about. We can actually check our time here. Haven't done that in a little while. Elekid making awesome timing. And the reason why I'm worried is because he's got a Nidoqueen, and we're still using Ice Punch. Poison Point Contact is a giant no thank you. Not only that, but Kangaskhan is still pretty strong. Getting same type from a move like Mega Punch is going to hurt us quite a bit if we get hit by it. Fortunately, Giovani leads with Nidorino. Unfortunately, we don't one-shot it with Thunderbolt. However, the follow-up takes him down. Nidoqueen comes out, we go for Ice Punch, and yeah, first one we get Poison Point proc, go figure. Now on the flip side, we freeze Nidoqueen, and she stays frozen up to the point where we knock her out. Crazy luck. Thunderbolt deals under half to Kangaskhan, and we go down to Mega Punch with our 41 remaining health. Well, we can equip a Pecha Berry, but that'll only cure Poison once, and Poison Point has a 30% chance to proc anytime we use a contact move. And I know what you're thinking, because I was considering this too, is go ahead and teach TM29 Psychic, and I want to save Swift for a little bit while longer, just in case we need a physical attack. I mean, our physical attack is absolutely terrible. Seriously, I checked after this run, and we have 0 IVs in attack. Despite that, though, and the hilarious amount of times we froze Nidoqueen, the reason why we end up beating Giovani is because Rhyhorn can finish us off, but Giovani thinks Scary Face is a better idea. Never change, brother. So we're going to swing down to Fuchsia and take on Koga. First up is the first Coughing, one Thunderbolt seals the deal. Muck is almost one-shot with a critical Thunderbolt. And another reason why Swift is useful, minimize Thunderbolt, Swift, Thunderbolt to make sure that Koga doesn't heal anymore. Coughing 2's a one-shot. Wheezing takes over half from Thunderbolt, gets paralyzed, and loses his turn. Yo, this is the luckiest run ever. Why can't I have this happen more often? And as we fight Sabrina, case in point with our terrible attack, Swift does not one-shot Kadabra, so we're going to go and set up Light Screen because she has a ton of hard special hitting attacks. Well, we can use Swift to finish off Kadabra. Out comes Mr. Mime. Thanks to a critical hit, it's a one-shot. Next out comes Venomoth. We take the Future Sight from Kadabra, trade Ice Punch and Psybeam, no confusion thankfully, and the follow-up Thunderbolt is enough to take out Venomoth. Only one more. As Alakazam comes out, we are immediately setting up Light Screen, and trust me, it's about to pay off, especially with that Calm Mind. We go for Swift, deal decent damage with second Calm Mind, we're going to go for Ice Punch just to bring it into range, and yeah, that psychic damage without Light Screen would have been toast. I say that because Swift deals just enough damage. See, told you it was worth keeping around. I gotta say though, Light Screen, VIP of that fight, for show. And we're just under 5 hours for Blame. Gotta say, this run in real time has been extremely fast. As for Blame though, I'm kind of worried about this one. We do start off strong as Thunderbolt one-shots Growlithe. There's a double helping a one-shot by Ponyta. Thunderbolt doesn't quite one-shot Rapidash, and we take a pretty hard Fire Blast there, so we're going to set up Light Screen right away. Thanks to that, we tank a Fire Blast from Rapidash and take it out with Thunderbolt. And thanks to Light Screen, our Arcanine changes to Takedown, which we do survive by the skin of our teeth, and we finish it off with Thunderbolt. You know, I thought this was gonna take quite a few tries, because Blaine's usually one of the harder trainers here on our channel. Not this time, though. Tough, but man, first try against Blaine, we're taking that. And obligatory mention of the Sevials. You have to clear this out anyway because we're doing the post-game. Might as well get it out of the way now. More XP, awesome hidden items to find around here. It's all good stuff. Now is Giovani the third. The second fight was pretty hard, so I'm really dreading this. Common sticking point for electric types, so will Elekid maintain the status quo, or will this little dude surprise us? Let's find out. Well, Rhyhorn and Dugtrio are one-shots. Psychic doesn't quite one-shot Nidoqueen, and we do tank the Earthquake. Okay, that's good, because if we're dealing that much damage to Nidoqueen, once we take her out and Giovanni stops healing, Nidoking goes down. Hey! Level 50 Rhyhorn, no match for Ice Punch. Yo, that was a beautiful sweep. It's crazy just how well this little guy has been doing, and Giovanni 2 being the hardest fight so far. I don't think I've ever seen that happen on this channel, ever. Alright, time to fight our rival before going to the Elite Four. Pidgeot hits us with Quick Attack before going down to Thunderbolt. As he sends out his new Rhyhorn, we'll go and set up Light Screen. We do have to eat Takedown, bringing us to 87 health, but next turn we take him out no problem. One Ice Punch, all it takes. Gyarados being double weak to electricity, yeah, get out of here, son. Next up is Growlithe, whom we finally one-shot with Thunderbolt. As Alakazam comes up, we go for Ice Punch, no freeze. Calm Mind, we're sending up Light Screen. There we go. Disables Light Screen, we should be alright. Follow up Ice Punch and Thunderbolt, down he goes. And our good luck doesn't stop there. Psychic, special defense drop, and he goes for Growth. Yo. Man, Elekid, you are killing it. This is the good luck run. I love to see that. Now, there's no need for us to go back to the Poké Center. We can go straight to the league. However, before we go there, I'm going to show you where to find a nice little hidden Lepaberry. Very well hidden. It's a nice little reward for explorers. Love to see that, too. Nothing to see en route to the Elite Four. We'll go ahead and cut straight to when we're about to throw down with the Big Four. Well, 5 included the champion. And gotta say, as we saved right before entering Lorelei's chamber, 6 hours, 9 minutes, not bad at all. And don't forget, we have to catch 60 Pokemon to get the National Dex, so that does take up a fair bit of time. Still, this run's been pretty darn fast. So yeah, Lorelei, Light Screen, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt by Dugong. Cloyster's up next, interesting choice, and a very easy one-shot. Next up is Slowbro, cannot handle a single Thunderbolt from Elekid. So next up is Lapras. We go for Thunderbolt, deal pretty big damage there, and Confuse Ray, that's a bad. And then we get Frozen Solid and Never Unthought. It's always Lapras, man. God, I cannot stand that Pokemon. But you know what, in all seriousness, we've had amazing luck this run. It's about darn time we got a taste of some bad luck ourselves here. And it turns out that Lapras is going to be a bit more of a problem because not only is there Confuse Ray, does have Body Slam, and that can paralyze us, although that'll proc static off of us, so we kind of want to see it go for Body Slam and have static proc, but no such luck, unfortunately. Yeah, Lorelei is kinda manhandling us here. I'm kinda surprised by that. Alright, on this attempt here, we go for Thunderbolt and a critical one-shots Dugong. We didn't need that, but hey, no kill quite like overkill. Right, Cloyster? Right. After Light Screen, we'll Thunderbolt Slowbro for a one-shot. Against Lapras, we'll use Psychic first, then Thunderbolt to guarantee the KO. Jinx gets paralyzed off of Static after taking that from Thunderbolt, and it's Goodnight Irene. Ain't nobody sticking around long after a finisher like that. Bruno, though, pretty easy. We have a good answer for his entire team, and with average luck on both sides, we're able to overpower him. Thankfully, we don't get crit by Cross-Chop in the process. Still, I was expecting this to take more than one try. Not bad, Bruno. Oh, well, just you wait, though. Just you wait. Agatha's up next. We have good moves for her team, but she can be annoying with that opening Gengar having moves like Double Team. And we deal great damage. Unfortunately for us, this Gengar also has Toxic, so we are on a very strict time limit here. Probably not going to win this attempt. Well, thankfully we don't miss Gengar too much, and Golbat obviously is going down to a single Thunderbolt. And here's where we're going to see why Elekid not having same type from Psychic really hurts, and it's not as effective as Smoochum Museum. We don't one-shot Arbok, and yeah, we're pretty much toast here. But let's try again. If we don't get hit by Toxic, we should be alright. Well, much better start here. Despite Double Team, we don't miss, and we're going into Golbat with full health, which means we're going into Arbok at full health. We go for Psychic, Arbok goes for Screech, probably the best case scenario because Agatha will heal and we won't take any damage from Arbok. However, as Gengar 2 comes out Psychic, great damage. Unfortunately, Hypnosis does connect. We're asleep turn 1, locked into Nightmare, but we wake up and finish off Gengar. All she has left is Haunter, and if we were doing that much damage to Gengar, yeah, one shot, that's what I thought. Now, I'm thinking that Lance won't be too bad. We have Thunderbolt for Aerodactyl and Gyarados, but you saw not having same type with Psychic, how that messed us up against Agatha. Same applies with Ice Punch against Lance's Dragons. I'm skeptical, to put it lightly. Strong start, though, as we one-shot Gyarados with Thunderbolt, and out comes the first Dragonair. And yeah, Ice Punch is great, but it doesn't one-shot the Dragonair, as you can see. Still very glad to have it, though. We can finish it off with Psychic. Next up, Dragonair 2 survives Ice Punch and we get hit by Thunder Wave, so now we're slower than the rest of the team. So, Dragonite missed Hyper Beam and we froze it. Okay, that's lucky. We lose our first turn to Paralysis, not the second. Dragonite stays frozen. We might be able to pull this off. We would lose the first turn to Paralysis and get crit by Ancient Power. You know what? All we're going to do is slap on a Sherry Berry, and that'll negate Thunder Wave, and we should be able to sweep Lance's team without much of an issue. Gyarados goes down, Dragonair number 1's a 2-shot, and Thunder Wave, there it is. There's our Sherry Berry, looking good. We crit Dragonite with Ice Punch, yeah. Oh my goodness. That's beautiful, because I am darn skippy that Hyper Beam would not have missed again. I hate to say it though, guys, we're in trouble. I mean, not Pidgeot here, we can one-shot that with Thunderbolt. Ice Punch does not one-shot Rhydon, but he one-shots us from full health with Earthquake. Wow, we're either going to need to freeze Rhydon or crit him. This is going to take a while, so if you'll excuse me, I'm going to spend the next 25 minutes getting an attempt where one of those things happens. And now, ideally, I would like to get a freeze on Rhydon and then have it stay frozen for one turn so we can set up Light Screen in relative safety, but, I mean, beggars can't be choosers. If we crit Rhydon, then that's perfectly fine, too. As you can see, leading up to that point, we're not having a whole lot of luck with that. 6.25% chance to crit, and I think Ice Punch has a 10% chance to freeze. Well, finally, we take down Pidgeot, and we get the critical hit on Rhydon. And with Alakazam's number 3 immediately setting up Light Screen, immediately pays off too. Go for Thunderbolt, no Paralysis, very good. With 83 health, we're going into the next Pokemon. Next up is Gyarados, and critical hit Thunderbolt, no doubt from Elekid's 25 minutes of frustration there. Thanks to Light Screen, Arcanine goes for Extreme Speed, and when it wears off, it tries to go for Flamethrower, fails, and it's just Venusaur remaining. Ooh, with that damage, oh, we're good. Venusaur goes for Solar Beam. We got this. Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. Wow, man, Elekid was just a straight-up savage in this run. Like, besides Giovani 2, like, how many times did we lose? I actually don't remember, because this run was so fast. But we're not done yet. You know, as the title says, we're going to the post-game. We already have our 60 Pokemon, so we can go straight to the Sevii Isles. Now, I've covered the Sevii Isles story in greater detail in the Smoochum and Magby runs. Basically, Team Rocket starting some shenanigans. It's a real nice tie-in to the Gen 2 games, but I'm gonna show you where the Lepidberry on the 6th Isle is. It's the last one that you can find on the map. One Team Rocket cleansing later, we are back at the Kanto Indigo League. Oh yeah, when I mentioned we have 0 attack IVs, yeah, we also have Bold Nature. Yeah, physically, we ain't doing diddly squat. We did help Lorelei fight Team Rocket on the Sevii Isles, and we're gonna go ahead and fight her here. Now, you might think that she's easy. I mean, Dugong, obviously, is gonna be very easy for us, but she has a Piloswine, it's part ground type, and we don't have a great answer for that. And it knows Earthquake, you get same type attack bonus from it. And we cannot two-shot it. Oh dear. So we're gonna try fighting Lorelei a few times, and hoping that Piloswine's damage, the damage we're dealing to Piloswine, I should say, is a damage range that if we get lucky enough, maybe we can two-shot, that we can see what happens after we take out the Piloswine. Oh, very good. Well, we have abysmal health, and yet taking out Cloyster's pretty nice. One Thunderbolt does that trick just fine. But next up is Jinx. We don't one-shot with Thunderbolt, and it easily finishes us off with Ice Beam. Looks grim, but no, I have a strategy in mind. We're gonna have to get lucky against Piloswine to pull it off, but, you know, a little bit of luck better than having to go back and level up. About 2 dozen eggs worth of attempts later, we get this attempt here where we two-shot Piloswine. I have since learned that we set up Light Screen against Cloyster. It's not very strong. Now, we should be able to tank one Ice Beam from Jinx. But Jinx goes for Lovely Kiss and misses. Well, thanks for making my strategy look weak. And then after Jinx goes down, we one-shot Lapras. Very refreshing change of pace from the main story Elite Four. And hey, remember when I said at the beginning of the challenge that I wanted a female Elekid? I remember how Bruno was tough but a first try, and I said hold on to that thought. Well, let me introduce you to post-game Bruno. He has 2 Steelix. And yes, we are opting for attract strategies here. We have no good answer for Steelix. Steelix has Earthquake, and if you think that's all there is to it, well, turns out that Hitmonlee also has Earthquake and deals quite a bit of damage with it. But don't worry, that's not getting old anytime soon, so does Machamp. Oh yeah, we're in some deep doo-doo here. Now, I will say that I do find it kind of interesting that all 3, Magby, Smoochum, and of course Elekid, by far has it the worst of the 3, all 3 of them have had a pretty big issue with post-game Bruno here in Gen 3. Now, the strategy here is to attract our way to Hitmonchan. We can take 1 Earthquake early on so leftovers can heal us. If we're too low when we get to Hitmonchan, he'll have Mach Punch and take us out, so this took quite a while. And we can take 1 speed drop from Steelix. That's not too bad. We'll still outspeed everything. Ideally, we'll want to get hit by Hitmonlee's Earthquake. It doesn't deal as much damage as Machamp. And getting hit by the second Steelix will make us too weak to fight Hitmonchan. So yeah, that's the best case scenario right there. And the fact that we don't one-shot anything makes this even more stressful. 3 turns to take out Steelix feels like an eternity, but once we get to Hitmonchan, we're pretty much in the clear. Bruno has his full restores for Hitmonchan, but they don't matter in the end. Now, I'm going to tell you this straight away, fear not, that's the only fight where we're using Attract, and that's the reason why I bought TM24 Thunderbolt. Like I said it earlier on in the video, I was like, yeah, that'll save some time. Well, nah, didn't. I had to go buy it anyway. And that shot us up to 9 hours, 10 minutes. Yeah, Bruno took quite a while. Agatha, on the other hand, isn't too bad. We have an amazing start as we one-shot Gengar with Psychic. Unfortunately, we still don't one-shot Arbok, and it sets up Double Team. As Agatha heals, we'll go for Ice Punch Thunderbolt, bye-bye. Crobat's a one-shot. We trade Psychics with Gengar too, prompting Agatha to heal, but thanks to Thunderbolt's damage, it really does not matter. Mischievous only goes for Attract, and we don't lose our turn. 2 Thunderbolts, bye-bye. Yeah, Agatha being much easier than Bruno and Lorelei, bet you didn't see that one coming. Next up is Lance. Post-game, his team is quite different. He does have a Kingdra amongst it. Arguably his best Pokemon, in my opinion. Gyarados, of course, is a one-shot. Aerodactyl comes out weak crit, getting revenge from round 1 back in the main story. Surprisingly, Dragonite number 1, one-shot with Ice Punch. Next up is Kingdra. Immediately, we're setting up Light Screen. It goes for Dragonite a second time, takes a little over half off a Thunderbolt, and Surf would have done a lot of damage, but thanks Light Screen. Dragonite number 2 is not one-shot and goes for Outrage. I don't know why. That thing has Earthquake and probably would have taken us out. That's what it's like in the life of a Dragonite. So, who would have thought that Lance would have been harder the first time around? I'm legit surprised we beat him on the first try. I didn't think we would one-shot the first Dragonite, but hey, I'm not gonna complain about that. Now, Ice Punch has been absolutely phenomenal this entire run, but we really don't need it anymore. Now, we know from the past 2 runs that he has a Tyranitar, he being the champion, and although our attack is abysmal, it is double weak to Brick Break, so I'm gonna give it a shot. I mean, I have to see how much damage we deal. I am curious. I mean, Magby one-shot Tyranitar with Brick Break, so maybe Elekid can do over half? Against his opening Heracross, we go for Psychic, get a special defense drop, and he misses with Rock Tomb. That is a great start. So I'm thinking, okay, we'll set up Light Screen here, but Heracross had other ideas by one-shotting us from full health with Mega Horn. He didn't even need to use Earthquake for that one. Oh boy. Attempt number 2 with a Speed Drop. We go to set up Light Screen after 1 Dragon Dance's Speed Drop. Gyarados is faster and takes us out with Earthquake. Boy, that champion's really been getting his revenge on us. Okay, third attempt, like a 2-shot Heracross, we're gonna one-shot Gyarados, out comes Tyranitar, here comes Brick Break's damage. Oh man, yeah, that... yeah, I laughed when that happened. This is, oh boy, desperate times call for double team measures. Oh, what's that? You don't believe me? You don't think that's the strategy to beat the champion? Well, enjoy this montage of our poor Elekid, who's been amazing for like 98% of this run. Just get absolutely obliterated by the champion's first 3 Pokemon. I judge an Elekid's performance. It was amazing the entire game, but man, poor little dude just ran out of gas right at the finish line. Now, obviously, we're going to get rid of Brick Break, and I don't feel bad about getting rid of Ice Punch because, let's say that we kept it, I'd get rid of it for Double Team anyway, so it didn't hurt to at least try out something new, you know what I mean? Now, this is no doubt going to take many tries, but the thing about Heracross is that Heracross has Counter, and we want him to go for Counter, because then that gives us a free turn to set up. Rock Tomb also doesn't have the best accuracy. I mean, it's not great to set up on, but it could be a lot worse. And don't worry, I won't spare you setting up against Heracross here, because although we set up a few double teams, yeah, he still hits us with inaccurate moves. That's just bound to happen. Now, if we can manage to set up enough, and by enough, I mean preferably all 6 on Heracross, I think that we should be good at least till we get to Tyranitar. The other problem here is that Tyranitar's ability, Sandstream, sets up a Sandstorm in a Generation 3 that lasts the entire battle, or unless you override it with, like, Hail or Sunny Day or something like that. And an even bigger problem is that Thunderbolt is not two-shotting Tyranitar, so we're going to be taking a lot of chip damage from Sandstream and hoping he does not hit us with Earthquake, which he does here. Many tries. I stopped counting after 50. Trust me, this took quite a while and it drove me nuts, but we finally get an attempt where we can get by Heracross with full health, which is fantastic. Gyarados obviously isn't a problem. And with our double teams, you'll notice that, nice critical hit by the way, that Tyranitar will go for Aerial Ace, which we actually resist, but it bypasses accuracy and evasion checks. I thought that was an interesting change of the AI, and ooh, another critical hit! Oh, I think we got this. I can feel it. Oh, baby, I can feel it. I can feel it coming in the afterlife. Oh, Lord. Hey, if I got driven insane by this fight, you're gonna suffer with me, alright? But no, seriously, even in the final battle, Light Screen is so useful because we did get hit by Alakazam there, thanks to that we take a lot less damage. Now, Arcanine does also have Aerial Ace, which it will go for because of our evasion. Perfect, because we can two-shot it and win this horrible, horrible final fight. Man, what do you even say about that run? That run was either everything is a breeze or you struggle. I mean, Giovani 2 was pretty hard, and it was pretty funny that we won because, you know, Giovani just can't help but be himself at the end of the day. But besides that, we struggled against the champion's Rhydon mainly. Lorelei's Piloswine, Bruno's entire team, and the champion in the postgame. Pretty darn good. So, Elekid finishes at level 92. What about that time? And before anybody asks if I just want to give myself the national dex automatically, I don't do that because I feel like it's a... it doesn't feel like a natural part of the run. Nice time, 9 hours, 26 minutes. Not bad, little dude. How do you stack up against the competition? Well, in the main story, Elekid wins, no question. Still faster than Smoochum, but 4 levels higher, so I'm going to say that's a tie. And yeah, I did that on purpose, leaving in our 4th contender. We're finishing this mini-series. We're going with the Pokemon Fire Red and the post-game with 1 Tyrogue. We'll see how my favorite baby Pokemon matches up to the rest of the competition.